there's a couple of reasons why I'm talking about this. Number one was my life story, because that actually is eventually how I ended up getting out here in the DMV, because I had to get away. I may talk about it in another podcast another time. I actually thought about considering writing this into a book or possible a screenplay. More on that later. Now, the other reason I'm talking about this is because of a lot of artists who did, music like this, and you don't hear a lot of music like that on the radio. Not even on pop radio. It's a shame. And a lot of artists like herself and what Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish were very diversified in their music. He did pop, and he eventually he became a country artist. He's a big country. He's a well-known country artist now. And you got these different artists out here doing stuff like that. And I think we actually let me put it like this: there were a lot of black artists who were very diversified in their music over the last 60, 70, 80 years. Really longer than that. And you could tell. We conquered jazz, we conquered blues, which is country is a form of blues. We conquered, we wrote, R&B, soul, hip hop, new wave, pop. We did all that. That was all us. A lot of it was. We did all of that. Hey, Animal Company, dude. I'm Randy. I'm just talking about music. I'm talking about how music genres change to narrow it down to certain musical genres. In other words, there were a wide range of genres that were real popular when I was growing up as a kid in the 1960s. And now it's just what, the main ones is just hip hop, pop, alternative. There's no real rock in it. In the country. The main ones. That's it. R&B is not what R&B used to be anymore. It's pretty much done. It's the format that I heard. There's no real soul music that I heard. Nothing that makes any sense to me. It's just a lot of the music is gone. Hey, the Blevins, appreciate y'all. I'm just talking about. I just happened to pop up today. I just had something in my mind. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I will come up with a specific topic, and if you want to discuss something, you can talk right here in the chat right now. But unfortunately, I can glance over every so often while I'm traveling along. But I just kind of think the music today is just it's still, how can I put it? It's not the musical taste that it used to be. You used to have a wide, eclectic range of different musical styles that everybody was into. It ain't like that. You got a generation of kids who listen to one or two types of music, and that's it. Their minds closed off to everything else, including classical, which I adore. I adore classical as a kid. My mother used to listen to a lot of classical music when I was growing up. And I actually used to go to Service Hall, which was like a stone throw away from my old neighborhood. I used to go there all the time. Love classical music. I did, still do. I just don't listen to as much as I used to. I had classical music channel on my playlist on the satellite radio. I need to put it back on there. And jazz. Real ambient jazz. Oh my God. That you can sink your teeth into. But people don't appreciate musical taste like they used to, man. A lot of people got their mind closed. Yeah, I grew up on R&B. I love R&B. I love soul music. They weren't the only genres of music I listened to even as a kid. I listened to all kinds of music. I did. I really did. So did my parents. Ironically. But I think I had I had just as wide a range of musical taste, if not wider. Because I heard it all, including hip hop. I was listening to smooth jazz way before it became a concept on FM radio. It was a real big deal, you know. And now you don't have a lot of that anymore. The only way you can get it now, exclusively, is if you have satellite radio. I don't know if any regular radio stations that even carry smooth jazz or jazz formats anymore, or even classical. Now it might be if you get to one of those public funded stations that number 47 combined cut, you know. I don't know, folks, man. We just gotta keep. We have to have an open mind and things like that, man. You know, and just have a open mind about musical taste, man. About musical genres. You know, you appreciate it. You know, I know I do. I don't know. It's just be one type of music all the time. It's just dull. It's just dull. Because even on my dial, as an eclectic playlist, I have hip hop, I got R&B, I got choir stuff, I got all of it on it. You know, I don't know. Just ain't what it used to be, folks. I was thinking about that. I was talking to my mom earlier, and I was like, man, things have changed so much in the last 50 plus years, man. It just makes me sad. It do. I mean, it literally makes me sad. I could go around my old neighborhoods of 123rd Street over 125th, East Cleveland, all that. All my cousins used to live out in that area. And you go over there now, in the summertime, even early hours of the night, quiet as hell. It's sad and scary at the same time. You know, when I was living over there many years ago, kids was playing outside in the summertime, man. You could hear it, the cool breeze going out, kids chasing fireflies and stuff. Wasn't no bunch of mess with no guns blazing all the time, but day and night. Wasn't none of that out there. You know, none of that. Just families just thriving and surviving, man. Living and enjoying life, man. It's just sad. It almost brings me to tears thinking about that, man. Them days are gone, man. And it's sad because the generations that's coming up now won't be able to enjoy it as much as we did without having to worry about, you know, this, that, and the third. You know, it breaks my heart. It personally does. You know, it do. It just things just ain't the same no more, man. It's just like you can feel the vibe too. You feel it. You can feel around people that you come around contact sometimes, where they act. It's a whole vibe to it, man. It's like people don't speak to you like they used to. I was in church yesterday. Guy, one of the gentlemen I know, and he just walked right past me. Didn't even look. I was like, wow, really? And I spoke to him. It's just things are different, man. It just ain't the same, man. Neighbors, they were talking about they did a thing about neighbors today on the Fox News today, and our neighbors aren't really cordial or even speak. I got neighbors like that now. They moved over not far from me, not by across the street, about 6 months ago. They don't say nothing to me. They don't look my way. I'm like, okay. We in the car. I wave up. They don't say that. Don't get a car. I say, hi, how you doing? My name's so and so. Nope, nothing. Nope. It's ridiculous. One acknowledge you. You acknowledge, they won't acknowledge you. A couple of them I stopped doing that because one that lived next door to me, he was staying with my late neighbor that lived there. And him and another dude, they were real funny, man. But they stayed there 2 different time frames. They both acted funny. And most of the ones that stay around there with borders, inside some of my neighbors' house, they don't speak at all. Well, forget that. No cup of sugar for you. You know, ain't the same no more, man. This world's changed so much, and it ain't changed for the good either. That's the bad part about it. It hasn't changed for the better. at the time when I first found my dad had prostate cancer in late 2017, early 2018, he had told me at one point that he was actually going to get surgery. And later on found out that he never had it. Because he was taking, I knew he was taking medication for it. And I don't think the medication was working like it's supposed to. Or it wasn't effective. I think it was the latter part. Because very Americans that pay for all this stuff. And I'm like, you still want to do this to us? Really? And you call yourself an American? And you call yourself talking about making it great again? Who are you making it great for again? Not us. And not the bulk of us either. Myself when I play back